Wow, Tesla stock is rocketing in the pre-market, and could Donald Trump fire Elon Musk? We're going to talk about both of these things, especially with what we're hearing about Elon Musk over at Mar-a-Lago. But first, I just want to take a moment and say, every dude needs a truck. I had no idea what I was missing out on. Okay, my first car was like a leased 4-door sedan. Then I had a Prius. Then I got the Model X SUV, and I'm like, I got so much space. This is so cool. And then I realized, like, the back two seats aren't that large. There's not a lot of space actually in there. And then if you do have the back two seats up in the 7-seat version of the X, you don't really have trunk space anymore. I'm like, all right. So I got the S. It's like I went back to a sedan, and I'm like, whatever. I guess that's just cars. They don't have space. Dude. Then I got the Cybertruck. If you haven't seen the video yet, you're welcome to watch it. You can see my family at the end, all the 7 kids and everything, and Max and Jack react to it. But, oh my gosh, I've been missing out. Like, I put a bike, a road bike. And I'm not going to bike on the road. I'm too scared to do that, but I'll bike on trails and that paved trails. But I could put a bike in the trunk, seal it completely, and it's protected and nobody can take it. The tonneau cover covers it. Then after I brought the bike home, I loaded up a bunch of donations into the tonneau cover, or, the bed, and then I closed the bed, and it was like they all disappeared before I even went, and now I keep adding to it. I'm going to take it all over the donation place today. And I'm like, dude, this is a game changer. So, like, I'm obviously a long-term Tesla fan, and have been a big Tesla fan for a very long time, since 2017, but I am blown away with how functional a truck is, A, and then also B, how freaking cool the Cybertruck is. Now, I know the outside people don't think it looks the best. I'm going to wrap mine. We're going to make some modifications to it. But just from the inside point of view, wow, it's so cool. So anyway, okay, let's get that out of the way. Great job, Elon. I'm going to hand it to him. Can Tesla today bail the NASDAQ out of a losing streak? The NASDAQ, which we'll use QQQ to just watch it here for a moment, has been down for about 5 days in a row now. And today would be its 6th day in the row if it does end up turning red. Our next stop for the NAS is 493.99. And if we go red today, which we're only green by about 20 basis points at the time of this recording, about 90 minutes to the bell, if we go red today, it'll be 6 red days in a row, which Goldman Sachs is calling a healthy correction, but it looks a little concerning. I mean, you had the breakout, and now you're kind of giving all of it back up. And if we lose this line, we're going to go down over here to about 480. Now, Tesla is one of the reasons the NASDAQ index is green today. In fact, if you've been reading my alpha reports, I mentioned that if Tesla ended up regaining, I mentioned the alpha report that I made this morning right here on the 15th. I mentioned if Tesla regains 318, which would be bullish, we can actually solidify being above the 300s and stay there rather than going to like 295. And sure enough, we regained literally that 318 line. On the news this weekend, that there could be an easier path for Robo-taxi regulation, and quite frankly, even that not only do we expect an easier path, but also that now all of a sudden we think the internal folks over at the Trump administration could set up an early win for Elon Musk on Robo-taxi. This is leading the stock to move literally line to line. 318.62 to 347.58. You can see it briefly got rejected there by about 350. Went back to my line. Now it's getting rejected there. This is really good. I mean, it's a good move over here that we're moving in these lines because you're, $100 more than you were a month ago, right? Which is awesome. But this talk about robo-taxi approvals and a pathway for robo-taxis with, Tesla, I have to say, first of all, most of that should be priced in already because we, after Donald Trump won, we expected that robo-taxis or the path to robo-taxis would be easier under a Trump admin. So most of that should already be priced in. This move now on reports that the Trump administration is going to prioritize self-driving development is exciting, and the thesis is that, okay, maybe it'll come sooner. But remember, it's not actually the Trump administration we're waiting for regulatory approval. What it actually is perfection with FSD. Now, I'm really excited because I just downloaded FSD on the Cybertruck, and the Cybertruck has hardware 4. My Model S has hardware 3, and the 2017X, let's not even talk about that. I mean, that was literally right out of the NVIDIA days, which ended in 2016. But anyway, I'm excited to see the difference. But what I will tell you with the Model S is that we're still in a place where when a new update comes out, while you fix things that were broken, you end up breaking things that were not broken. And that's frustrating. And Elon Musk has explained that frustration as well, and the frustration that we just don't have enough data around those edge case scenarios to keep those as smooth as they should be, which is a downside risk factor for how quickly we can really get to that Robo-taxi approval. I think we're really years away here, and I'm not trying to be a downer. Like, this is the future. Robo-taxis are the future. Optimus Robot is the future. I'm just worried that we're not going to have enough cash flow in the event we start hitting a recessionary environment next year, which I think we will. We're not there now, though. Like, yesterday when I was at the delivery center with the Cybertruck, there's a line for people to get their cars. Now, I asked Cole, who's a subscriber, by the way. Shout out, Cole. Thank you very much. It was awesome meeting you, dude. And you were so nice and helpful with the car. Thank you for setting up that service appointment, too, in the app for me. Like, y'all are freaking amazing. But anyway, I love the car. Amazing drive. I don't love the lack of sensors. So when I go to park, there's not a lot of parking where I live. And I don't have a driveway either. I don't want to move. I like where I live. Even though I got 7 kids, we bought the house next door to us, but I still don't have a driveway. So when I go to park between cars, I can only use the cameras to judge the distance between the parking, which I'm okay with, but I have none of the sonar sensors that I get with the S, and I'm a little bothered by that. I really do wish I had some kind of sensors there, so I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. I haven't hit anything yet. I think I'll be okay. I'll get used to it. But it is something that I'm feeling already that I'm missing. And I bring that up in the sort of Robo-taxi discussion because I do wonder, are some of those fine-tuned items going to be really important to actually get across that finish line to get to full self-driving? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I hope not, because that's going to be a lot of sensor work that we have to include. But I mean, even if we did, what does it increase the cost of a Robo-taxi? $1,000 a vehicle? Like, who cares, right? But then it's just a matter of how does it integrate with the software stack, and that's what Elon's really trying to avoid, is having to do any kind of, integrating of other sensors, because then which data sensor or set do you trust? But anyway, this sort of jump on prioritizing Tesla or Robo-taxi, basically Tesla, I don't think is really that newsworthy, because again, we should have already known it. I think actually what's more newsworthy is this, and I'm not trying to be a bear here, but I've been thinking about this. Donald Trump is somebody who's very proud, and rightfully so. He's done a lot in his life and career. When somebody's very proud, they usually don't like sharing power. And when they don't like sharing power, there's the risk that they end up firing somebody that is overstaying their welcome, potentially. And so could Donald Trump fire Elon Musk? Yes. There are jokes, obviously Elon's not on the payroll, but there are jokes that, Donald Trump is like Elon Musk's pet, and that Elon Musk bought a president. And there are jokes that apparently Elon Musk at dinner says things like, yeah, Elon rode in on his rocket and he never leaves. And these are just early quibs before like the real work has begun of running the administration. And so then I saw this post by New Republic, which has been reported by many different outlets if you don't like this one. But anyway, Elon Musk is starting to seriously annoy some in Trump's inner circle. Musk has been hanging around Mar-a-Lago ever since his multi-million-dollar gamble to help the president win. But he has no intention, Elon has no intention of taking a back seat in the Trump presidency, and it's starting to piss off some of those in the president's ranks. He's behaving as if he's the co-president and making sure everybody knows about it. He's also taking a lot of credit for the president's victory, bragging about how the America PAC and X, or bragging about the America PAC and X to anyone who will listen. He's trying to make the president feel indebted to him, and the president is indebted to no one. The second person interviewed, on a condition of anonymity, said that Musk has been overstepping his bounds and that Musk has an opinion on and about everything. And, this is also really interesting because from an optic point of view, there has now been a lot of this reporting that, hey, is Elon Musk associated with doing favors for Putin and on behalf of China by not introducing Starlink to Taiwan? And are these these connections going to be too dicey for Elon or for Donald Trump to be able to get the approvals that he needs for actual people in his cabinet through Senate? If some moderate Republicans or Republicans that are concerned about this start potentially voting against Trump appointments because of Elon. Now, no guarantees. All of this could be sort of like bearish, worst case scenario. How do I look at all this? Like, what's sort of a bottom line, like a realistic bottom line to all of this? I don't think Trump is going to fire Elon, but I do think there's going to come a time where Elon kind of gets shown the door, and it's like, hey man, why don't you just text me on this number over here, when you have an idea. It's kind of like a separate phone number. I'm sure they have the same, Elon has Trump's phone number, but the point is, just text me, bro, get out of here. I think that's probably going to happen. I don't think that really makes much of a difference. I think it's clear now that the EV tax credit is going to go away. I think that's a negative for Tesla in 2025, along with recessionary concerns, but that's just a negative for everything. Every stock pretty much, except for long bonds. Or companies with, I think, mortgages, residential specifically, because I think those will do really well. Low defaults and high ROI. My opinion, could be wrong there. But, as far as the Robo-taxi expansion, I would pit that at, if we can pull that off this decade, I would be very impressed. So, by 2029. And I only say that because when I bought the Model X in 2017, I basically grew up with every phase of full self-driving, from, the autopilot days, highway only, to, it wouldn't stop for stop signs and traffic lights. That was normal. We would know that as users of it. And I also know the frustrations of, the amount of software bugs that there were back in the 2016 model and 17 model days. But I've also seen the transformation from having owned the Tesla Roadster that was built in 2009 to what it is today. So I know this is a great company, and I know they're on the right trajectory. I just think the time frames, unfortunately, are just not going to be as optimistic as they're being presented. And I don't know that it's going to be the Trump administration's fault, because after all, the technology has to be right first. Now, yes, we might get easier testing, but we won't get that broad-based adoption until the technology proves itself. So this is not about politics at this point. It's about the technology first, then the politics. Now, if they do, I'm sure Elon has a great relationship with Emil Michael, who's going to be, I think, great for the expansion of Robo-taxi ride-sharing. But I'm also concerned that is there a risk that helps end up benefiting the expansion of Waymo more so than Tesla, because their technology is already working with the Robo-taxi element, whereas Tesla is not yet. So we'll see. That could be a boost there to Google. Just in the time of this recording, by the way, the NASDAQ is now only 13 basis points positive. Some of that has to do with NVIDIA, which we'll have a separate video on. But buckle up. I think we got some entertainment ahead of us. Anyway, if you want to get some of my reports early every single day at least 15 minutes before the market opens, make sure you're signed up for the Alpha Report at meetkevin.com/alpha. Subscribe if you like my information. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye and good luck.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.